To charge for shipping or to not charge for shipping? That is the question. Little known fact, but when William Shakespeare first wrote those words, he set his pen down and turned to his good friend Jeffrey Bezos and he asked him, "Do people really believe that the moon landings were real?" All right. Welcome back to Tactical and Practical, another episode from vacation. So, this is my podcast studio for now. This episode is all about testing free shipping, testing shipping prices, and testing free shipping thresholds. Shipping can be a huge cost center to a lot of e-com brands, and I think at the very worst, it should be a break even. And if you do it right, I think it can be a profit center too. Today we're going to talk about the best way to price and position your shipping offers. And if you're like most marketers, you probably haven't thought about those in like 18 months. So this episode's for you. We're going to talk about specifically what attributes your brand has and how you can use that to help shape those offers to maximize conversion rate, revenue, and profit. Today's episode is sponsored by IntelliGems, your one-stop shop for profit growth on your Shopify store. IntelliGems allows us to test content like headlines and copy and images and videos on our website. You can also test prices. We're going to talk about today how to test free shipping prices and thresholds. You can do all that through IntelliGems. So if you are like most marketers and haven't tested any of this stuff in a long time, it's probably time to revisit some of those assumptions you've made, put them to the test, see what actually produces the most profit so you can start making more money today. So if that sounds good to you, go to intelligems.io and let them know the Tactical and Practical podcast sent you. All right, first up, I'm the VP of marketing for Original Grain. So let me give you the Original Grain example. Our products are very small, so they're cheap to ship, but they also cost like $3 to $5 to $700. So our shipping price of $5 is such a small percentage of our AOV. It's such a small percentage of what people are paying that when we tested free shipping, we didn't see an increase in conversion rate, so we saw a decrease in profit per session. Now, we are maybe the lucky ones here and maybe the rarity here in ecom where our products have a high value but a very low shipping cost. That's like every ecom brand's dream. I think there's so many disadvantages when it comes to being in the watch industry. I think it's really hard, but this is one advantage that we definitely want to take advantage of. This is definitely a positive thing that we can use to our advantage. But I'd encourage you to take the lesson of looking at your shipping cost kind of compared to your AOV, or maybe as a percentage of your AOV. Because if that percentage, if that cost gets too high, people can definitely be turned off by it. I see this most commonly like when you're buying furniture online. Furniture is big and bulky and expensive to ship. Recently, I've shopped for a desk, a chair, and a couch. And shipping for each one of those things was at least $100. The couch was many hundreds of dollars. And I'll be honest, that turned me off drastically. So for the desk, I bought it anyway and paid like $100 for shipping a $200 desk, which I did not like. But for the couch, I just found a store near me. I spent a Saturday going like 6 different furniture stores, found a good one, brought it home, set it up because I was so turned off by that, hundreds of dollars in shipping that I was going to pay. And the chair, I still haven't found one yet. So most of you probably sit somewhere between shipping a small watch and shipping a couch. So your example and your cost will end up somewhere in the middle, but I really just want to bring up these examples to kind of challenge any assumptions you've made in your business. Maybe you've just always offered free shipping because Amazon does and you think people expect it. Or maybe you've always charged for shipping because, it costs you a lot of money, but I would 100% put free shipping versus charging your cost for shipping to the test. See how your customers react to it. You might be super surprised by the results. Next up, you can also test different shipping prices for the same kind of shipping option. Now, this example is not from OG, but this is an apparel brand who has a much lower AOV than we do. They tested free shipping versus 2 tiers of pricing on their normal shipping options, and free shipping produced the highest conversion rate, and therefore the highest revenue and profit per site session. That is such a big deal. If they wanted to charge shipping, they would decrease their conversion rate by 8% and decrease their profit by even more. So this can work in both directions. For us, it works way more to charge for shipping because it doesn't decrease conversion rate. For this brand, it produced an 11% drop in profit. I don't know what the goal of your brand is, but decreasing profit is usually not on anyone's vision board. So make sure you test it for different brands. This will work out differently, but so important to test free and test different shipping prices as well. Last up, we've got a free shipping threshold test. So this is a different apparel brand. Typically runs an offer that says spend $100 to unlock free shipping. This can be a fantastic tactic to increase AOV, especially if you sell products that are often bundled together or if it makes sense to buy multiple of your products at once. Like most brands who run these offers, I'm assuming they pick that threshold based on what makes sense to their brand and their products. I would guess $100 is just slightly over their AOV, and from scrolling their website, it looks like this was set up to get people to buy 2 or 3 shirts instead of just one. But very smartly, hats off to them, they decided to test that threshold. So they took that $100 threshold, they tested it 25% lower and 25 and 50% higher. Which, again, hats off. I love when people go that extra higher one because you just never know. So that's how we set up a lot of our tests as well. We'll go, when we're testing prices on anything, we'll go like a little bit lower, a little bit higher, and then a lot a bit higher. And I've had that lot a bit higher price one a couple of times now. It's very fun. But the results of this test were super interesting. Having the threshold lowered to $75 actually increased conversion rate the most, but setting the threshold higher at $125 produced the most profit per session. But here's the key. Both of those thresholds outperformed the control. The lower one and the higher one beat the original $100 to unlock free shipping threshold, and both produced more profit. Now, the $125 threshold produced a little bit more profit than the $75 one, but this brand now has options, depending on how they want to price their products, depending on whether they're just nice guys and want to give more people free shipping. They still found a way to do that no matter what they set the threshold at. So super, super important. And again, this is just an area of the business that I think never gets talked about and is very often overlooked. But this brand, just by testing something that doesn't look like a performance lever on the surface, they were able to unlock an extra 10% profit per visitor just by changing their shipping or their free shipping threshold. So if you are like most marketers and you have not thought about your shipping options or your prices in the last 2 years, don't worry. There's a couple quick fixes here. Launch one of these tests that makes the most sense for your brand and start extracting more dollars from a very overlooked but low-hanging fruit area of your funnel. Thanks so much for listening to Tactical and Practical. A lot of you have been DMing me the results of split tests you're running. I love that. Keep them coming. And a couple episodes from now, maybe in a month or so, I'm going to do an episode breaking down all of your guys' all of your guys' split testing experiences and any questions you have to. So DM me at Nate Lagos on Twitter, and I will see you next time on Tactical and Practical.